do it mostly by practicing what I preach and by resources. I go into anybody program, say they can help something, get what they got, and then I go back out there and pass it out. You know what I'm saying? And then I work with like my supervisor, and we create programs. You know, like the RAS program. We create, even though they got my name with nothing on it, I got a whole lot of titles. And my titles, reflect my work. And what I do is I done help go into a lot of organizations and put my input. And that's how I get, because I see them writing, I'll be like, yes. You know what I'm saying? Then when I see it in action, I say yes. So it ain't got to be about me. So what I do is like I jump out in the gang. I go in there and stand there and I preach. You might see me on First Brother all the time. I preach. I see what they doing. I see still doing that shit. And I can get away with it because, who I am. You know what I'm saying? I could go into the dope house and be like, man, they ain't coming in here. I just left the meeting. You know what I'm saying? They coming in here, so you know what I'm saying? A couple of y'all ain't gonna be able to get away even if you clean up. So you can go tell your mom and them y'all be gone but y'all three, y'all can run now. You know what I'm saying? Because they need to know that. They need to see that. And then we work on starting different things like the Hope Youth Center. So we got a thing in our head called community building. And that means we could get the group home, to bring this group home, to bring this kid, and let them intertwine in anger management, basketball, pool, and get to know each other. So when you see each other at the gas station, because I know a lot of people even turn around, bump into me, and then somebody say, oh no, man, that's they don't know my name, but leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? Not because I'm a killer, because that's the dude that was up at our group home talking the other day. You know what I'm saying? And the dude be like, oh, but he's like, no, man, he's straight. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I work on it. I just keep practicing what I preach. When they see I stay, because a lot of people, he'll be back selling dope the next week. But when they see it keep going, they believe it. Then their daddies start getting jobs and going to school, and then they can feed the kids. Then they start telling their kids, straighten up your hat. You just said it goes soldier over here. Pull your pants up. So we remind them that constantly. You know what I'm saying? Why you got your pants pulled down. You know what I'm saying? Constantly. So I just constantly keep preaching.
Thank you. And exactly what you see right here. 3 men that are examples to the youth nowadays. I had wrote down earlier, put the right people in the right places at the right time, and it'll help change people's lives. But most of all, it is the content of the character that we have now from the experience that we had before that'll help youth to see that there's another way out. But it's led by example, by those of us who will stand on that integrity and not go back to our old ways, regardless of if we're unemployed or what we're going through. That we maintain that integrity and we stand on that example.
Okay. Now, with that in mind, I want to open up for questions, answers. But first of all, I just make it real clear. I tell young guys, I said, let me tell you something. Even if you want to commit a murder, I'm going to be with you when you're wrong and help you get right. That don't mean I'm going to be no conspiracy to no homicide. But there's nothing too deep that we can't talk about. And that's one of the philosophies that I use. Okay. Now, with that in mind, I see the gentleman have a question.
How do you guys feel about a person, a young man or a young woman who's a gang member who wants to leave the gang, and the philosophy of relocating and don't go back? Don't go back to the neighborhood. Relocate, don't go back.
How do we feel about it? I feel that's our goal. That's our goal for every active gang member. If you active or you inactive, so we really preach. Remove yourself from those people, places, and things. That's a very good start. Whether it be school, work, or church, we try to encourage those things and get those people away from those old people, places, and things.
That's not always going to be easy though, because because of economics and poverty. I mean, it's easy to say that's like when you get out of penitentiary. You don't go back, don't associate, don't do this, don't that. Well, where else I'm gonna go? What else I'm gonna do? So the odds on, you being able to always just relocate. Now, if they have some intervention, some organizations or resources in place, then maybe. But as a whole, if you just tell him that might not always necessarily be a good option, because what resources, how they're gonna relocate.
And also, I think that anytime you want to get out the gang, you got being a gang member is like up in here. So you could take me away, but you ain't going, if you don't change this, you know, cause most guys that's from Chicago, and I ain't got nothing against Chicago because my family, but they in Kenosha and Beloit, destroying this Kenosha and Beloit, they wasn't nothing in Chicago, you know, but so their parents was relocating them for safety, and then they became the problem. So if you don't take it from mentally, so like you said, it's not, the resources got to be put there for we can get the social workers and the counselors that really could teach these kids that it's something else besides the street life and gangs, and then when they change up there, then you're out of the gang.
Next, anybody got another question? In the back.
Can you talk about what their active most appreciated and how do you guys relate to kids when they buy into that expectation and sensationalism of love? How do you relate to kids?
Well, look at the power in the media. I mean, look at the individual media, you know, and the rap and the music. I mean, that's major money. It's a lot of major key players that's making money, you know, and big groups of individuals who making money off of all this. You know, and they, you know, got a lot of money invested in these images and these rappers, and, you know, it's all part of a big scheme, a big system, you know. So, you know, you almost have to go to, you know, these corporate individuals who are running off Viacom and all these other key individuals, and they're not going to move out the way because they got too much money invested. They're making billions of dollars off of these industries, the images, the music, the clothing. You know, we're talking about a lot of major industries there. So, you know, they know what they're doing. A lot of this is targeted, it's strategic, you know, and it's to create these images. Because otherwise, they could let some other kind of music go through, but they won't. They could let some other videos go through, but they won't. They say, hey, these are the kind of images we want. So now more and more entertainers, you know, they say, well, then they know if we're going to make a rap song, we got to talk about this. You want to do a video, you got to do it like this. You got to show this exploitation, you know, and all this is a part of a system.
And what I do is, at our school, we make them study the rappers. So, you know, Lil Wayne, you know what I'm saying, he making a lot of money, but then we show him the part that he also a dope fiend. You know what I'm saying? So we say, well, Lil Wayne got arrested for having about 10 different types of drugs in his pocket. Is that cool? Because, you know, they don't like dope fiends. Or they say that a lot of people don't know that Tupac went to college. So then if you think Tupac the greatest rapper of all time, don't you think college played a part of it? So once you get your college degree and stop just trying to be a rapper, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's like Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons is an entrepreneur, so he just don't think about music. He said even Master P did not only just rap. He couldn't rap no way. He just said, but he knew how to get money from other people that rap. You know what I'm saying? Then he started selling shoes, magazines, you know. So we show them that in our class, we had a teacher named Miss House. That was our whole depth. You got to look inside the rapper and break him down. And if you come up to the conclusion that he fake, then don't be like, he fake, but I'ma still be cool. It's just like, stop snitching, but you know your cousin just snitched, but he's still your cousin and cool. If you don't not like one snitch, don't like them all. So if you don't like one dope fiend and you know Lil Wayne a dope fiend, then just cause he sounds slick, that's cause he don't know. Then don't like him neither.
That's right. Good question.
Yeah, my question is, I know some of you is on the panel personally, but can you share the importance of how your faith was a very important part with the change?
Of changing?
Yeah, your faith.
Well, for myself, to me, there was no way out. I mean, I couldn't disconnect. I mean, I kind of disconnected myself with the gang when I went to prison, when I seen that it was true, all the stories about that nobody writes to you, nobody gives you money, and all that stuff. I mean, that was one of the things that I really took into consideration, that nobody was there for me. And then actually, when I went to prison, the whole gang just broke apart. It was like they were relieved, because I was like the frontliner of everything. As far as your question goes, with faith, for me, it was actually really giving myself into submission, because there were so many things about myself that I could not stop doing. You know, from smoking cigarettes to the love of money, you know, selling drugs and getting that easy money. You know, it had to. I had to seek something that was more powerful than myself.
You know, right before I went to prison, a friend of mine, Terry Gill, he used to be with the BOS, and he was a good friend of mine. And just so happened, he had a Christian video store. And I had just got robbed. My family was home invaded. You know, they hit my daughter, mother in the head with a pistol. You know, and the Secret Service was looking for me, and a lot of crazy stuff was going on. And God began to show me that and led me to his Christian video store. I was going through, I had a pistol on my seat. You know, I knew I was under indictment, but yet I was suicidal, you know, thinking about, hey, you know, I just got robbed, whatever. Might have been the folks that got me, you know. So at the same time, from that, and when I walked into the Christian video store, first thing he said, you know what, you need Jesus. You know, and it kind of caught me off guard because, you know, I don't know what I need. You know, all I know is, man, you know, I'm going through. You know, the feds is following me. You know, but saying all that to say that that's when I gave my life up to Christ. 4 weeks later, the Secret Service was at my door, you know, and I was arrested and I was sent to the penitentiary. And so this book here, you know, that I wrote, you know, it shows in the midst of the money and the murder and the drugs how God is at work. This book is filtered with, you know, spiritual insight, scriptures. So I would advise everybody, everybody say, am I plugging for my book? Yeah, I probably am. This book and this tool right here, I'll be honest with you, is an excellent tool, you know, to be able to address a lot of issues. And yes, that's where my conversion came in.
So, I got a question.
Yeah.
Okay, one more brief question. Emilio?
You know, you're talking about disengagement. I once heard a gang member say, I'm not with the gang anymore, but I was at the meeting where they were electing the new head of the gang. So that isn't disengagement. Okay, you've mentioned the person that talked about worked at doing outreach, but he was doing outreach still selling dope at the same time. So, you know, the question for me is that to you guys is that disengagement, it can't be no BS. It's got to be genuine.
No, yeah.
You know, and so, you know, you've had individuals that have professed to disengage, but really didn't. You know, where do you guys stand, Mariano?
Okay, and that was one of the that kind of goes with the question that the gentleman asked about where do you start and how do you start. I think it's a mental commitment first, and then whoever is providing resources for that person sets some goals, and leads that person down that path and helps them along the way. I think the resources are very important of what we provide for the youth and the gang members who want a true disengagement, and they have to have a proof of disconnection. There has to be proof, whether it takes an outreach worker or social worker to go to the heads, to sit at the table, to go to the heads of the gang leaders and say, look, and like I said, it's a mental commitment. He has to know that this is what it's going to take. So you can't shy away from it now that we're going to do this for real. We're going to sit at a table and we're going to make sure that you disconnect yourself.
And also, I'm like, Jose Flores, when I came to him, I said, Jose, I'm ready. He said, no, you straddling the fence, Tojo. So I walked out the room because I probably had some rocks in my pocket then. So then when I was ready, I came to Jose Flores and said, I'm ready. So he didn't jump right on me, but I was ready. So that's one thing I said, practice what you preach. Because I'm not going to have no pistols around me in my car, sell no dope or condone it. I'm not a gang member, period. You know what I'm saying? Now, my job consists of me being around gang members because I need to, you know what I'm saying? So but I ain't flip-flopping or none of that. And I don't like that. But I don't like social workers or counselors that get in the car with me and ask me where the weed at neither. You know what I'm saying? Because they do that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Where you know the weed or you know, it's a powder because you look at them. So that's when I've been through all that. So that's why I keep it real. I'm like the whistleblower. You know what I'm saying? I don't like poverty pimping organizations that just get money and don't do nothing because I know I've been to some of them and they don't. So I'm like you. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like somebody that's supposed to be doing the job and don't do it. I'm a supervisor now, and I don't like the people that work under me that don't do their job. You know what I'm saying? So don't crank up the rap music when you take the kids on a field trip. Don't call the girl honey. Don't feel on no girl or no boy. Don't get too close. That's my job. And then if we get more people that stand like that, then you can walk out there and tell the person that's supposed to be the outreach worker that's still banging, we'll see you later, man. We get somebody else to do this job.
Yeah, we all, but, and then again, we all human too. The serenity prayer, this goes to your question too, Ramon, is the serenity prayer says it all, you know. And I've seen strong youth workers relapse. And, you know, they have a problem just like anybody else. And you know, youth work, social work is a low-paying job and it's very stressful. And I've just seen people, let's keep it real, I've just seen people relapse and they come back even stronger. So I think they should keep God in prayer, keep their serenity prayer close to them, and that's for all of us. You know, we all going through something or another, and we all human. So we can't sit up here and say, you know, this, that, I'm too, you know. No, we all human. So we just struggle and we support each other as service workers. If you got a friend that's in there and balance up, help that person out, you know. So that's all I can say.